The nightmare that your nightmares are haunted by, Nightmare King Grimm, brings us to a whole new level of boss fights in the game. Rated as one of the two best Hollow Knight has to offer, and by the end of this fight, I hope you understand why. Let's restart the dying flames of the ritual and continue the cycle. I'm Ryzen Shield, and let's make this easy. So what are we bringing for the fight? We've explored Hallow Nest and collected everything. Now we choose our charms and get ready for one of our final fights. This fight is a dream fight, so we finally get to use our charm loadout of our dreams. I use Shaman Stone, Quick Slash, Long Nail, and finally, Fragile Strength. Hit hard and fast with the nail, and then do your burst damage with your soul attacks. This is the way this fight will roll, and is going to be glorious. The first time you fight NKG, you will be forced to wear the Grimm Child charm. This means that you won't have access to 2 of the charm slots. Typically, I just remove Long Nail and keep the others. Because of the pace of the fight, I recommend a nail-based loadout. However, a spirit-based loadout is totally viable. You'll dodge the same way, but obviously use your spells when you're able to. I've never been able to do it comfortably though, so I'm not going to recommend using it. And what the majority of players in their first run of the game are going to be using is a nail-based build. So now, go pick your poison. Get ready to tango. So on to the fight. What can Grimm actually do? This fight is a rematch against Troop Master Grimm. That means most of his attacks are going to be familiar, but they are going to have a little bit of a twist to them this time around. NKG has a total of 4 phases, just as before. They are separated by the pufferfish attack, just as before. None of his moves are complicated, but they can be awkward to deal with if you aren't prepared for them. This fight isn't hard when you get the rhythm down. The hardest part is finding the right way to dodge each attack and still be able to do damage. If you followed my Grimm guide, it should feel pretty similar in the way that the fight plays out with most of his attacks. The main difference is that this fight is, well, faster, and just a few more attacks. Less time to react, and more time to panic. Take a deep breath, and I'll walk you through it step by step. The first attack is a Fire Bat attack. Grimm will send 4 Fire Bats at the Knight, alternating between high and low. If the Knight gets too close to Grimm when he is doing this attack, he will retreat to another part of the arena and send another Fire Bat towards the Knight. The easiest way to dodge this attack is to wait until the first Fire Bat is almost above you. Do a single jump while moving forward, and then dash. This allows the Knight to pass over both of the bats on the ground while not having to worry about either of the bats in the air. This lets you get in 3 nail swings every cycle if you do it properly. This timing also doesn't make NKG retreat and send his final set of Fire Bats at you. If you do trigger them, just jump and dash through the middle of them, and you may be able to get a hit or 2 if you're lucky. His second attack comes as a dive dash. He teleports into the air and then drills towards the Knight. After landing, he dashes towards the Knight once again, exactly as he did before. But this time, the twist is that there's a trail of fire following behind him, both during the dive and the dash. We are going to do the dodge the exact same ways I recommended for the first fight. So to dodge, just dash or simply walk away on the ground to avoid the drill. And then after he lands, jump over him as he dashes. You can either jump and dash away, or you can pogo his head and then dash away. I would not recommend chasing him, as there's a good chance that you will fall into the fire and come out a grumpier person. The dash uppercut is his third attack. The exact same as before, no twists. This attack shows NKG dashing across the arena and swiping into the air with an uppercut. At the apex of his uppercut, he disappears and causes 5 fireballs to fall to the ground. The easiest way to dodge is to dash away from him. This puts you in the perfect spot to dodge the falling fireballs. Dash back the way you came and toward where he started the dash, and the fireball will fall down right behind you. The center fireball is the most consistent as it comes down nearly exactly where NKG disappears. You can dodge wherever you feel most comfortable, but I just happen to like getting back to the center of the arena and away from the walls during this fight. NKG is open to a nail swing as he starts his uppercut. Not a lot of time to hurt him during this attack. The fourth attack is the Cloak Spikes. NKG disappears from the arena entirely. The spikes telegraph themselves by appearing on the ground. This gives you little time to move between them and avoid them. They extend toward the ceiling so you cannot jump over them. The attack is tricky because of the sheer speed of the attack. However, there's no threat during this attack, so just don't feel pressure and just walk left or right to dodge. NKG isn't in the arena during the attack, meaning we can't hurt him, unfortunately. The fifth attack is the pufferfish attack. It is used to signify the phases of the fight. They occur at 75, 50, and 25% health. Once again, it's the exact same attack as before, just faster. Appearing at the center of the arena, floating off the ground, Grimm becomes invulnerable to nail attacks during this time. He can still be hit by spells, however. He shoots fireballs either high or low, as well as further into the air. I never bother with the fireballs that are not on the bottom level, as I don't attack at all during this phase because I value my own health. This attack is going to take time to get used to. To dodge, do a single jump over the bottommost fireball, and an extended jump if both high and low fireballs are on the same timing. If you're willing to take some damage, you can Abyss Shriek while standing directly under NKG due to massive damage and speed up the fight just a little bit. However, keep in mind, it is definitely not necessary to do this. He only comes up with one entirely new move, and it is the easiest to punish. This move is the Flame Pillars. NKG will summon 4 Flame Pillars, one after another. They telegraph themselves by appearing on the ground level where the knight is and shooting up a second later. After appearing, they do not last very long, but the base of the pillar will linger for a few seconds. The easiest way to dodge this attack is to do a stutter step. Walk forward slightly, and wait for the telegraph to appear under the knight. Move out of the way, wait patiently for the next pillar to telegraph itself, and then move again. Just repeat this process until the final pillar is telegraphed. This leaves an opportunity to attack NKG as he is immobile during this move. The best way to deal damage is to wait until the 4th pillar is telegraphed and then walk directly underneath or slightly next to NKG. A well-placed Abyss Shriek can be devastating to an immobile target. If you don't have enough soul, feel free to jump and swing at NKG, hit him in the face a few times. He probably deserves it. He also has a skitter if he happens to be too close to the knight and wants to get some distance. The attack he shows before and after the skitter can change, so try not to dodge too early, otherwise you might get caught with your pants down. If the worst happens and we do get hit, when can we heal during the fight? Healing in this fight can be tricky. Truth be told, the only absolutely safe place I would recommend to heal would be during his stagger. You can get an easy 2 heals every time. It's possible to go for a 3rd, but I wouldn't suggest trying it unless you have absolute confidence in when you started to heal. With NKG doing 2 damage per hit, healing is significantly less rewarding for this fight. While it's possible to heal during his cloak spikes, it may not work properly if you don't start soon enough, and depending on what his follow-up move is, it's also pretty risky. There's also a possibility to heal after the final Flame Pillar, but I wouldn't recommend this as healing spots, as they come with the risk of getting hit if you aren't quick enough at starting it. So how are we going to bring it together to finish this fight? Just like the first time you fought him, this fight is going to be fast and fluid. Every single one of his attacks is telegraphed in a unique way, and all of them are completely 100% dodgeable. There are no cases that you can get hit if you dodge correctly due to a follow-up attack by NKG. That sounds amazing to me. First things first, as with every boss fight we fight, I recommend not cornering yourself against the wall, as it's going to get you in trouble and it limits your movement to dodge an attack. Stick to the center so that you have room to dodge any way that you want. This becomes doubly important this time around with NKG because he leaves trails of fire after some of his attacks. This can limit your movement a certain direction, and if you're already in a corner, that one's gonna hurt. This time around with 2 damage, I wouldn't recommend doing an Abyss Shriek during his pufferfish attack, as it can get you in a lot of trouble very quickly because you're probably going to get hit multiple times. We already get an Abyss Shriek in during the Flame Pillars, so there's no real reason to do one now. Just wait for the Flame Pillars. It's a million times easier, and you'll save a lot more health. Also of note, during the pufferfish attack, you'll notice that I go left and right as I go up and down. I tend to go away from the fireballs as they come towards me so I don't accidentally jump into them while dodging, and then go towards them so I don't fall on them and touch the ground as soon as possible to be ready for the next wave. This is more important in NKG fight because it's faster, and those fireballs will 100% catch you. Guarantee it. It still happens to me. Don't worry about it. And in a similar manner to most other bosses in the game, try not to jump around needlessly. While you can do the entire fight without doing a single double jump, which would be kind of impressive, I'm not gonna lie, I suggest you don't panic jump, because that leads you to a world of hurt, leaving you in the air and just open for a lot more attacks than you should be. So just take a deep breath and try not to jump too much. At this point, it is a job well done, and you deserve a pat on the back, my friend. Now, you might be ready for the pantheons of Godhome. If this was helpful, feel free to like and subscribe to see me break down the rest of the bosses in Hollow Knight. Until then, happy hunting.